Hi everybody, Craig here. Welcome back to the Age of Wonders 3 campaign, the Elven Court. In our last episode, we continued working our way through Scenario 6, Burn the Shadow. And of course, the big development last time is that we managed to successfully transfer Merlin's wand over to Reskar. And of course, this is the wand that we need to use in order to trap both enemy leaders. So we've already successfully done that to Leonis, and now we're attempting to do that to Saridas. So all we have to do is use Reskar to perform a melee attack against Saridas before he is killed in battle, and then instead of going into the void and teleporting back to his throne city, he'll teleport into our jail cells. And as I mentioned, Leonis is already there. Now, as you can see, we had left it last time on a cliffhanger. We were about to siege this city, and importantly, Sardos himself is right here. So I think we are getting pretty close to being able to end this campaign and end this scenario, hopefully successfully here, but that remains to be seen, and we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We know that Sardos has a large number of units over here that we're coming on down to perhaps aid him, so we'll have to see how this goes. But I think we're going to just jump right in and see if we can hopefully bring a swift end to what has been an excellent campaign. But like I said, we don't want to count our chickens before they hatch. So let's see here. Let's engage this siege. That was the big cliffhanger last time. Okay, so should be a fairly straightforward battle for us here, I think. I think we can afford to be a little bit aggressive here, given that we've got the pretty objectively superior force. So let's just kind of get a little bit aggressive here. We're just going to go like this, and what we'll do is we'll throw on an Awakened Spirit just to buff up our spider a touch. Toad can advance. Scale Cleaver, which is just a pikeman unit. And then, you know what? Our archers can get pretty far up there as well. They've really done a good job for this stack, which is, of course, leaderless and that doesn't have a hero, but that doesn't stop them from doing some good work. Oh, they're wasting their spells on trying to dispel the Awakened Spirit, which is kind of an interesting choice. Alright, so now we are in a little bit better position here, I think, so we can probably just start, yeah, let's get a little closer here. We can just start letting them have it. So, ooh, nice. Really good hits on the Ranger. Not quite enough for the kill, but this should be enough to finish them off. Perfect. Right. Now, on this side of things, I think what we'll do is we'll just soften them up a little bit, and then we're going to have to eat some arrows here. That's pretty much inevitable. That said, can we... Ooh, look at this. We can get in there with our Toad. Oh, nice. And there's a kill. That's awesome. And you know what? Let's just jump right in here with our Sky Sentinel. I think I'm pretty happy with where these units are. And then with Reskar, we do have our Lightning Strike. And it won't hit our own units, which is kind of nice. Can we go any closer? Oh, yes, we can. That's perfect. Okay, and let's do this then. No stuns, but that's fine. We at least did some damage. We successfully got the Dispel. Ooh, a pretty high-powered wing beat there. That didn't feel super great. And there's some flank shots. Our Toad just making quick work of those Glade Runners, though. Yeah, no real concerns there. I think what we will probably do is just get the finish with our Spider Queen here. Perfect. Really nicely done. Our Toad... Excuse me. Our Toad did take some damage, so I think I'd like to avoid the Toad getting hurt too badly. There's the good kill on the archers. So what I will do is I will fly Reskar over, drop a nice big heal on the Toad just to make sure it's feeling good. And then I think with the rest of our units here we can kind of just turn to deal with what we've got left. We've got these Glade Runners here. Got a Scout Rider and another Glade Runner, so we really don't have to get overly aggressive at this point. I think we can kind of play it a bit more laid back, as it were. Soften them up maybe a little here. And this Fire Breather can go like this. Now, we could charge in there. Sky Sentinel would probably take a lot of damage, so I think instead what we'll do is we'll play it perhaps a touch more defensively. Yeah, and I think we'll just go like this. And that's going to do it. Yeah, ooh, that kind of hurt. So we're taking some damage, but nothing we can't really recover from here. Get a really good kill there. Perfect. Get our Fire Breather out. Do some work like that. And then we can turn them around here. Nice. And then we should be able to just follow up. Get the kill like that. No problem at all. Our Toad did take some more damage, but thankfully we have additional healing we can supply. Our Scale Cleaver has yet to level up. So that might be a nice one. Let's do that. Nice work for them. Alright, and there we have control of an additional city. I think I'll just release this one as a vassal, to be perfectly honest. And then we are going to proceed onwards towards our prize, which again is Saridas himself. Now, we can't make it there this turn, or I would have just gone straight for the battle at this turn. I'm hoping he doesn't run too far away, although I suspect that he probably will. We'll have to just wait and see how that goes. We'll keep our Crow doing some scouting for us. Research choice, I think we'll... Ooh, we have produced Shadowstalker. Let's go for that. That is quite exciting. Otherwise, here, it's just going to be... We'll get rid of our production choices and focus on our our actions first. We'll grab this. Nice, there's that fort. Ooh, and what is this? Oh, yes, it's the Throne City of Fidoral. Okay, that's perfect. And what this means is we are going to be able to hopefully get him out of the game, because I believe he is still in the Void. Oh, yeah, you know what? We can even do this one in auto combat, I think. Yeah, no problem at all. You were a disgrace for the Draconian race. Manipulative, warmongering, deceitful. It is fitting that your corpse now feeds the worms and the plants. The earth will swallow your sins and transform them into beauty. I hope we never see anyone like you again. Boy, that's a little harsh, but I guess that's fair, given that Fidoral, you know, was pretty evil, as it were. We'll absorb this one because it is a throne city, which means it's probably pretty well developed. And this group here, I suppose we can just keep moving in to kind of provide additional support there as needed for Julia's stack. Sundren can move here. I think we will just head down and clear this out. Let's just do some auto combat. That should be fine. Oh, yeah. I was tempted to go after Wazul, but my hesitation is I don't want to put Sundren in a spot where she might bite off a little more than she can chew. But you know what? I just realized, oops, that's a bit of a dead end. Let's go around this way. Ooh, and Sundren got a level up too. That's great. Let's see. What do we have? You have Dirty Half Dozen. You get Devout Slayer, but I don't think that's really that helpful. You know what I might do? Just, ooh, Inflict Severely Poisoned isn't bad. But I think it's probably better... Well, Sundren's already pretty darn powerful. You know what? I was going to say maybe focus on her... We'll do Inflict Severely Poisoned. I was going to give her some additional stats, but I don't think that's necessary. Nomlik, I mean, again, we could sit here and keep guarding our Dragon Dwelling. I think maybe what we'll do is we'll park this guy here to just provide some measure of defense. Not that it's going to be enough to dissuade anything. And then I think maybe what we'll do with Nomlik is I think what we'd probably eventually want to do is group Sundren and Nomlik up together. That would probably be pretty darn desirable. I mean, I gotta be careful because I don't want Nomlik getting anywhere too crazy. So let's, you know what, let's just leave him there. We'll let Sundren make her way around. Edward can just follow the road here, which is great. Ooh, yeah, and so can all of these units. So that's perfect. We're just kind of moving over to provide some additional support if needed. And you know what? Here we can use our flyer to get in close. As I said, Reskar, we're just going to wait. Ooh, right. In these cold spawn, we're moving up to reinforce our underground position. Just to provide defense on our jail cell area to keep Leonis safe. Bormak is going to make landfall, I think, and then he can head over, maybe clear out this tomb for us, which would be awesome. And he's now got a force of units with him that can help him out, so that's great. He's a pretty strong fighting force at this point. Our little Grimbeak Crows here, I think, can probably just keep right where they are so they can keep an eye on Saridas. Our ships here, now, here's the question. Are we maybe strong enough to try out this sunken city? I would say probably not, given that there's a tier 3 Sea Drake warship, a Wraith, and then I noticed that these Poltergeists have Haunt Machinery. When I hover over them, let me take a look. What does that do? Attempts to take control of target construct. Oh, wow, so it's a mind control ability that works, I'm assuming, on machines. Oh, that is very cool. But that we're at threat to that, because these are both machine units. So, yeah, we're not going to be strong enough to do that, not without some additional units. Which is too bad, because there's really nothing else these ships can do. This is a dead end up here. But you know what? If we wait, maybe we can summon a couple of Grimbeak Crows or something to join that stack. So I'll just have them sit and wait. Alright, now, production choices. We might as well go a little bit nuts here, given that we are in a pretty good position here money-wise. So we'll just focus on, like, knowledge. This city, though, I will focus on unit production. We now have that ability to produce big beetles here, which I'm going to take advantage of. For Draconian City over here, we'll just do laboratory. Ooh, and our throne city, let's keep pushing for the palace, so we'll go for the hospital next. Livelix, I quite like this Draconian City. It is going to be able to produce... Oh, nice. Let's do a Succubus, and then once that's done, we should be able to then produce Shadow Stalkers here, which would be fantastic. Excuse me. All right. Orc Town up here. Nothing too crazy. Maybe we just do a shrine, or we could do a siege workshop. We could also just leave it. I mean, we want to save some gold, so maybe we just leave it. I think that's probably fine. This Dwarven City, a little bit more developed. You know what? I wouldn't hate getting a Rogue's Palace here, and then we can build the next step, and that would give us more Shadow Stalker production capability. Over here, I think I'm okay, actually. Let's just do merchandise. There, and that gives us plenty of gold to hang on to. We'll get some Grimbeak Crows going, and there's the notice that Fideral was killed, turn 16. Or lost, I suppose, because we've already killed him. No alliance offers. These are all join offers we're going to ignore, and that's going to do it for the turn. So now the thing we really want to watch is what is Sardos going to do. Hopefully he doesn't keep running, but I suspect that he will. Alright, so... Ooh, and he's bringing his units down. This is going to get a lot harder given that, like, he's got a lot of enemy troops up here. And yes, we have two pretty powerful stacks and some units coming in to reinforce. But if he groups up, this is going to become very difficult because, like, he's got... Oh, here, look at another full stack. Mind you, it's all tier 1, but still. Oh, and he's got a hero. So yeah, like, you know, this could be a challenge. It's still going to be worth trying, I think. Not to mention, if Zorn brings units in, that could get even harder. I don't think this is Zorn's throne. No, it's not. I find when you zoom out, it's often easier. You can see the little crown, which is why I do it so frequently when I'm looking for a throne city. Especially if I can't fully see it. Okay, we got a vassal offer. Going to accept that. Fengirs won a battle. Ooh, nice. Burrow of Gold is finished. That's great. I mean, we're probably not going to be able to fully develop this thing, but now we need... I think it's the incubation chamber. Yeah, and that's going to give us then... leads to Golden Lair, which is what we want to eventually build with our Burrow of Gold. So we'll do the incubation chamber. Ooh, you know what? This one could benefit from an Iron Grip. I think we can put that on our vassal, or on our dwellings as well as our cities, but I can't remember 100% if that's true. I think maybe we came across that once before. We'll throw the Grimbeak Crow in here. I think we might want maybe 2 before we try this battle. I suppose another thing we could do is send the one we have already in existence down to help. Maybe we just do that. Ooh, we went right next to the spawning structure. Yuck. Oh well. Okay, we're going to skip all the production and then do our movement. So the important thing here is Sundren did... Or, sorry, not Sundren. Saridas did not move. And so I think we might as well just go right in here and go for broke. Why not? Yeah, there it is. Oh, and look at that. There's Zorn himself. Boy, we're lucky that he didn't bring his units over to make this worse. Oh, and nice. This flyer can get involved. That's perfect. All right, so we are going to engage this fight here. And all we have to do is hit Sardos with our wand before we kill him to make sure he goes to the goes to our prison cell when he comes back from the void. Now, I truthfully don't know. Like, let's assume that we're going to be successful because we want to think positively here. If we get the hit on him, we send him to the void. We have to. I'm assuming we're going to have to wait 3 turns for him to then come back and hopefully appear in our jail cell, which I'm assuming means we're going to have to still survive 3 more turns. So we'll have to see. You know, we don't want to like completely empty the tank, I guess is kind of what I want to say here, and put ourselves in a a more precarious position than we want to be, because I'm assuming it's not going to just end once we get him hit with the wand. I'm assuming it's going to take another couple of turns for him to kind of come back, as I was saying. Nice, there's a good kill. That was pretty easy. Our flyer can cruise on over. Again, the goal here is not to do any damage really to Sardos at this point. We just want to prepare ourselves to hopefully get him with our wand, as I was saying. Unicorn Rider's going to move up. Fire Breather's going to advance. Now on this front, we've got quite a few. These are mostly initiates, Storm Sister, and a Longbowman. Definitely would not mind killing the Storm Sister. They're quite a powerful unit. But I don't want to just throw my toad out there to the wolves necessarily. Now we could step up here with Reskar. I think I will do this. Try and kill this Longbowman perhaps. Nice. There we go. Alright, and then I think what I'll do is I'll go here with the toad. Go for that swallow hole. It was unsuccessful. That's fine. And you know what? I don't necessarily, as much as I want to get a flank, that's going to open me up to these Longbowman shots. So I think instead what I'll do is I'll just cruise over with the Sky Sentinel and just soften them up a bit. And then our Spider is going to move over. Hunter's going to stay put. Union Guard can move up. And that's going to do it. I'm a little worried about that toad, but I think we'll be okay. I hope. Ooh, ouch. Gotta make sure Reskar doesn't get killed. Ooh, he stunned my toad. That was a pretty smart move. Yeah, now our toad is probably going to get killed here. Jeez, yep, that was my fear. Okay, the toad survived, but barely, so we've really got to bail the toad out now. Alright, well, let's step up here. Nice, that was a big critical. And then we can cruise over with our spider and tie up the archers, which is great. So let's just get in there and see if we can really cause some good damage here. Nice. Really good work on the trebuchet there. That pretty much almost seals the deal. And that does seal the deal, which is what we needed. Alright, now over here we want to bail out our toad if we can. I don't know if it's going to be entirely possible, but we're certainly going to try. There's a good hit. Gotta kill this initiate. There it is. And then I think what we'll do is we'll park Reskar here. We'll drop a big heal on the toad just to try to keep him alive. Unfortunately, phase is not really going to help us here. And then everybody else is just going to stay put because we don't actually want to hit Sardos. We want to do that with Reskar, so... Nice, good kill from our... Oh, amazing. Our Spider Queen doing really good work. Yeah, our toad's going to be just fine, so... Now we can cruise on over there. And we'll just wait and let these two duke it out, and that should be fine. There it is. And then Regrowth doing its job, so... Let's cruise in behind here and get that throne teleport rerouted, which is what we need. Perfect. Alright, so now he should have... Yep, there it is. So throne teleport rerouted. And now we can get the kill with anybody. It doesn't matter at this point. Might be fitting to just let Reskar do the final kill here. Yeah, let's do it. Perfect. So let's see if it ends it now or if we have to wait a couple of turns. So, yeah, I'm assuming we're going to have to finish this up, but we'll see. So, because it's going to take a couple of turns for him to come back, we just have to make sure we're strong enough to survive. I think with Reskar, we'll just do some hit points, honestly. Make him a little bit harder to kill. Just, yeah, that's really good for him. So now he's got way more health. And with this group here, we might as well... Well, we can go like this. And then we've got a little stack here to play defense with. I think ideally we'll go for Zorn next turn here. See if we can put him into the void. Okay, here's Bormak. So I think, yeah, we'll clear out this tomb. Oh, yeah, this should be easy. We've got Hyman, Revenant, Unforgiven, which is a tier 3 irregular unit. Kind of a neat unit there. It's got black bolts and a pretty good melee strike, so that's kind of cool. There's their caster healer type unit, and then just some animals and a revenant. Let's just do this in auto combat. I'm not too worried about it. Nice. Didn't lose anybody. That's the important part. An item that gives sabotage. That's not bad, but I think I'll just sell it, honestly. I don't really need it. This one we're going to turn into a vassal shortly. Same with this one. I'm going to send this Arbalest guy over to help Julia, I think. Meanwhile, these ones, I'm going to maybe send them... These aren't the throne cities of Saridas. We have to make sure we don't capture the throne city because that will unfortunately end the mission as a failure for us. We would lose. We don't want that to happen, so... we can raid his other cities, however. Oh, and there's some items that belonged to, I'm assuming, Fidoral. I think, okay, Edward doesn't have a melee weapon, and he also doesn't have a holy symbol, so why don't we send them both to him? Yeah, this is nothing special, but at least it'll give him a little bit of extra damage. We'll just jump over to Edward to make sure it gets equipped when it does arrive. There we go. Speaking of Edward, we might as well just keep him moving along the road. And he's just on his way over to provide reinforcement for us. Nothing too crazy at this point. Right, and Bormak did get a level up in that battle, it seems. And at this point for him, he is level 10. Maybe we'll just boost his survivability slightly here. Yeah, I definitely don't hate that. There we go. Julia, on the other hand, we've captured the throne city of Fidoral. This could be the throne, maybe. Let's scout it a little bit. Ooh, yeah, there it is. So this is the throne city of Saridas. So we definitely are going to stay away from this, because we really do not want to end up in a situation where we, you know, have worked so hard and we end the scenario with a loss, because then we'd have to, you know, it just kind of defeats the whole point. So again, we don't want to capture the throne. We want to wait for him to respawn in our jail cell. So let's just keep Julia there for now. Nomlik, I'm kind of content to just keep him here, sort of playing semi-defense. However, Sundren, I think we could head down. Yeah, let's go here. And then next turn we can clear this out and the Forbidden Sanctum. We don't want to be too risky, although if Sundren does get killed, she would just end up back in our throne city, which is fine. I don't want to have that actually happen. I'm just saying it wouldn't be the end of the world. And yeah, I think Nomlik's fine to just kind of play an overall sort of defense there. Our Grimbeak Crow here could do a touch of scouting, but I'm also inclined to maybe just add it in to play defense with Reskar there. Big Beetle. Yeah, let's just send it along too. We're just bringing in reinforcements. Reskar's going to just stay put. Cold Spawn are moving up to play more defense. Let's try an Iron Grip. I think it'll work on a dwelling, but I'm not 100% sure about that. I'm going to try it as an experiment. Oh, nice. This city next turn will be able to produce Shadow Stalkers. And on that note, I think we will just do merchandise, because then we can do a Shadow Stalker once we have that researched. For a lot of my cities, unless I can do something in a single turn, I think that's what we're going to do. Let's do a Rogue's Palace, and then we can get Shadow Stalkers once we build structure number 2. So we'll kind of future-proof that a little bit. We'll do a Siege Workshop, I guess. Ooh, nice, our little island city. I really like this one. I think it's in a cool location. We've got really good structures around it. This one would be ripe for some Shadow Stalker production, so let's get that process going. Up here, again, I mean, we could develop it, but I think I'm just going to not worry about it. And then we'll end the turn there. So let's see. I'm assuming it's going to now take the 3 turns for Sardos to come out of the void in our jail cell. It would sort of make sense, because again, we have to... I'm assuming that's going to have to happen to then sort of trigger the condition of victory for us. Oh, Zorn is... Ooh, yikes. Zorn is getting pretty strong over there, so I feel like maybe we have to attack him. Just kind of put him down. Let's see if Wazul is doing anything crazy. Alright, so... Arugula Ironheart disjuncts corpse looting. Well, that's annoying. Join offers galore. Ooh, nice. Okay, we released this one as an independent vassal. Guarded by a Silver Thane. Nice. Okay, we have Iron Grip. Let's just do the experiment. Nice. We can throw it on a dwelling. And that makes them way happier, which is great. You know, the nice thing, too, is if we wanted... Now, this is a... this is a vassal dwelling, but if we had taken control, obviously the undead don't like our alignment because they're pure evil, but if we needed to, we could boost it. I don't think you can do Iron Grip on vassals, but if this had been in our control, we could have used Iron Grip to make them a little happier. Shadow Stalker is now complete, which is fantastic. Oh yeah, Dark Pact. Shadow Stalkers gain +1 defense, +1 damage, and new powers, but they have more upkeep. I mean, who cares about upkeep? Let's go for this. It's 8 turns, but I mean, once we get it, that's going to be just gross. Because again, the Shadow Stalkers are already powerful, and then you add that to the mix, and they just get that much stronger. So, yeah, that would be wonderful for us. Let's send the Succubus around here. Maybe we'll just cross. Do want to be a little bit careful. We don't want to just throw it away. So maybe we'll head into the mountains a bit, stay kind of safe, but we can take a peek at what's going on. Yeah, so join offers. We're going to just ignore all of these. I think really what we'll do, though, is we're going to attack Zorn. And I think the reason we want to do that is because he's actually getting quite powerful. And I think it would be wise of us to minimize his gaining of power here. I mean, this is going to be a tough battle, though. He's got a lot of powerful units. And I mean, we're strong, but we're not, you know, unreasonably strong. So this is actually pretty tough for us. That said, I think we can handle it. We just have to play our cards right. And this is going to be a great instance where we can maybe do some spell casting with Reskar. I'm thinking of that Beast Horde spell in particular. I think that's going to make a big difference for us. Kind of surprised Zorn isn't doing any spell casting. Let's get Reskar here, and we can do, as I said, call Beast Horde. I'm assuming when I do this, he's going to try and disjunct it, but if nothing else, we'll get some units this turn. And these spiders can do a good job of, like, harassing and causing some, you know, kind of general problems. And then we can try and take advantage of that a little bit. And you know what? These units can get right over the wall, so we will do that with them. Our archers can really cause grief if they can get close enough as well. Not to mention our Unicorn Rider can phase, which is huge. So, let's just kind of start doing our thing here. We do want to break this door down, but we have to be cautious because we're going to take a lot of damage trying to make that happen. Well, you know what? Our Sky Sentinel can get over the wall, and so can our Spider Queen, which is pretty powerful. Alright. We'll end it there. Nice, and we've got some coming in over the wall, which is exactly what we wanted. Oh, these are penguins. That's hilarious. Okay, disjuncted it, but we did get, I think, 4 units out of the deal, which is still better than nothing. Yeah, this is going to be a tough battle just because he's got lots of ranged units, and he's got the walls, which is going to make this, like I said, more challenging for sure. Okay. We've got lots of things in our favor. We just have to make sure that we try and play this one relatively intelligently. We don't want to do anything too stupid. We're going to throw our spider up there. I think we'll put the Sky Sentinel over like this. And the Toad, remember, can just hop over the wall with his Frog Leap ability. So I think we'll go kind of here. Meanwhile, the Elder can advance. Start blasting. Again, we can just soften him up from the ground, really. Dire Penguin's going to just go right up the gut here. Probably pull some aggro. That's fine with me. Spider Baby's going up on the wall. This is just going to be a distraction, really, at this point. Union Guard's going to go right up the gut here. Alright, so our archers, like I said, they can get up, do some pretty good damage. Nothing crazy, but, I mean, again, we can soften them up over time, turn by turn, and really whittle them down. Nice, there it is. Fire Breather might as well advance here. And then our little spider in the back's going to go up. Now, the Flyer and the Grimbeak Crow, as I mentioned, can get over this wall. So let's kind of position ourselves smartly here if we can. Scale Cleaver has taken some punishment. If it goes down, I'm not going to be too upset. Alright, we'll end it there. Ooh, Lion's Courage. Okay, that's going to make them a little tougher. Okay, yeah, Scale Cleaver's taking the punishment. At least taking aggro away from the units that are about to hop over the wall. Ouch. Fire Breather getting lit up pretty good. Well, some of them are coming out to fight me, and that's fine with me. Makes my life a little bit easier, so let's jump in behind the wall, get that flank shot, and then probably just get the finish right here. Perfect. Alright, Reskar has got his lightning ability, which pretty gross. Let's throw that on. Nice. We can step up and get the kill like this. And then we can hop in behind here. Obliterate that razor bow. And then we can toad leap our way in as well. So now we've got a lot of our best units in behind the wall, which is exactly what we wanted. And then we can do a fire breath. Our fire breather's probably going to die, and that's fine. Again, the objective here is just to really put the hurt on him as much as we can. There it is. Nice. And then we can charge the gate here. Try and break that down. In the meantime, our archers can keep doing their thing. Light up that monster hunter as much as possible. Almost the kill, not quite, but pretty darn close. Spit and Spider can move up. Give him the business. Alright, so now that we are in enemy territory, we've made it successfully behind the wall. I think we're going to be able to cause some real damage here. Thankfully, some of our summon units are tanking the damage for us, which is great. Ooh, this Orc Henchman can get flanked really hard here. Nice. And this should be the kill. Perfect. And then we can start banging on the gate with our Dire Penguin. Reskar's been kind of hanging out back here, which is totally fine. I think what we maybe want to do is cruise over here for this. Yeah, let's do this. Nice, big kill there. And then I think maybe we will jump in behind, go for that. Nice, we got the Swallow Hole and a little bit extra health, which is hilarious. And you know what? We can just phase right in. Yeah, and let's kill that monster hunter. Nice. And then this guy can keep banging on the gate. Get us a little closer there. And then we can just light up this guy with archer shots here. Maybe even get the kill, actually. Yep. Nice. Alright, now our Flyer and our Grimbeak Crow can just cruise on over. Reskar himself, I think, might as well get in behind the wall. Not enough mana, or casting points, excuse me, to do really anything at this point. So I think that's just going to about do it. So we'll end it there. Zorn's still a little dangerous, so we got to be careful. Nice, he's going after my penguins. Fine with me. Oh no, my poor summoned Spitting Spider. Whatever will I do without it? Alright, so let's see. We can get into a big flank on the Drudge, get the kill there. That's great. Nice kill there. And then, you know what? We can go and backstab Zorn, which is great. Awesome. Ooh, and then we should be able to just get the finish like that. Let's just see. Is there any healing, anything else we maybe want to do before we end it? Yeah, let's go heal our spider. Very good. Alright, and now let's finish it off. Perfect. There's Zorn into the void. So now if we can find his throne city, we could put him out of the game, which would be wonderful. We did lose a few units there, but nothing irreparable. We'll just consolidate our groups here. Nice. There's the city was undefended. It's now ours. So we can group up there. And now we're going to be defending the city, which is going to make this a lot easier. I'm going to actually absorb this one because we're going to use it as a base here to play defense against all of these units that belong to Saridas if we really need to. I might even just step up and kill this unit real quick here. We'll just do that in auto combat. Whoops. Didn't mean to run. I meant to do auto combat. Very nice. And then we'll regroup. There we go. I suppose we could even head down and do this battle, although I think I'd rather play it safe. Alright, so then, like I said, I think that really helps a lot because even if they attack us, at least we're defending a city now. We'll have the benefit of the walls. That'll make it easier. We've got plenty of archers, so that will just make things that much better for us, really. And then we're just moving everybody else in to provide additional reinforcements, which is, I think, exactly what we need. Edward doing the same here. He can even grab those haste berries on his way through. Big beetle coming around. Nice. Okay, iron grip, we already did that. Let's just see. I think we've done all our movement. Oh no, we still... Oh, we have lots, actually. Never mind. Yeah, up here we can keep pushing. Ooh, nice. Should be able to take this city without too much trouble. Yeah, let's engage this one. Do it in auto combat. Very nice. Nobody died. That's the important part. Because this one is kind of right on the edge, I think we can actually afford to absorb it. I don't think it's in as much risk of being recaptured by the enemy or anything like that. So that's going to be what we'll do there. Now, Julia, I'm happy to have her just stay put, honestly. I don't think we need to take any risks. Same with Nomlik. We'll just keep doing our thing. Cold spawn, grouping up. There we go. That's wonderful. Reskar, like I said, I'm happy to just have him stay put. Sundren, let's see. Maybe we can do these two battles here. We'll do this one in auto combat. Took a little bit of damage, but nothing too crazy. And then the question is, do we want to try this Forbidden Sanctum? A little bit of a risk for us, but... Ooh, Shadow Demon Lord. That is a little scary, and some bombards. That said, I think we should be able to handle it. So let's try it. A little bit of a sketchy battle, but I think it should be okay. Really, the main thing here is if we can kill the Lord, then we're laughing. Alright, so... the Lord is coming around this way, it looks like. So... let's get ourselves kind of set up here. Drop a big heal with Sundren there. Easy to forget we even have heal. We have so many abilities and whatnot. Alright, I shouldn't group up because these bombards hit like a area of effect shot, if I remember right. Okay, and there's that Demon Lord coming around the corner. So ideally we just thin this herd out before they even get to us. Let's jump over here. Do we have like a longbow or anything like that? We'll just have to use shock bolts, I guess. Or what about just seeing what would be best? Yeah, probably shock bolts, so we'll soften them up. Very good. You know what? I want to save my Thanes probably for the Demon Lord, so we'll just cruise up here with the Impaler. Knowing full well that we're going to just take a little bit of damage here, nothing crazy. We'll go like this, and we'll go like that. Alright, let's see. Ooh, that hurt. Yeah, our swordsman getting chopped up there pretty good. Okay, there's the Demon Lord. That's the scary thing. Oh, our poor pikeman getting mauled in there pretty good. It does have fearsome, so that's obviously not amazing. Let's see what would do the most damage. 1 and 4 to 6. That's no. 3 to 5. Our shock bolts. Yeah, that's going to do the most, so that's what we'll do. Very good. Ooh, panicked. Let's hope we resist it on this front. I wonder if this makes us... Yeah, we'll rampage with this one. I think that's going to be the smart play. Then we can step in behind and go for that. Oh, we're panicked, but he's essentially finished at this point. Ooh, okay, we got killed by the bombard. You know, this isn't going super well for us here, especially we got multiple units that are panicked. Yeah, I'm not loving this. Okay, good, though. The most important unit that we needed to kill is dead. That was the most important part for us. And then I think Sundren should be able to finish off what's left herself, so... Interesting that these bombards are going for melee. I thought they'd use their ranged attacks more, but... Definitely not my smoothest battle, but that's okay. Ooh, and look at that. We get Mass Bless and some casting points. I will happily take that reward. Ooh, and I almost forgot about this situation. Let's see. I think probably we want another crow. But I want corpse looting back first. That's more important to me. We'll get another crow going. And then, you know what? We can try this battle maybe next turn if we're really feeling kind of excited about it. Lizard Man Frog Rider. That's kind of funny. He's riding a frog. Let's see. Oh, yeah. This unit's already done its thing, so we just need to tell it. Had a little bit more movement if we really wanted to. We'll head on down, group up with Julia. So Sundren's group. We can head around and kind of just go for our city over here, I think. Brenheim now able to produce Shadow Stalkers, so let's get that going. Shorg. Observatory wouldn't be bad. Just get that extra knowledge. Try and speed up Dark Pact, maybe. Brotzlin here. Could get that planar gate to give us Shadow Stalkers, but I think probably better to just crank out big beetles every turn. So that's what we'll do. Yislif. Let's just do an observatory. And then money-wise, we are starting to get a little low. Another Shadow Stalker, absolutely. Camrod. Brack. I think we'll just do merchandise. We don't want to break the bank too much here. There we go. Alright, we're going to end it. I'm a little nervous about Reskar's current situation. Like, I think he's going to be okay, but you never do know. We know Sardos has a lot of units, because we saw this big line of them a few turns back moving on down to attack our dwelling. Really kind of stopped the advance on that. Oh, proposal. What is it? I don't even see a proposal. I just see... Oh, well, they become our vassal, I guess. Tribute, a small army, or some mana. I'll take the small army just because... Nice. Arbuskier and Old Order Knight. You know what? I'm going to send them this way because Sundren is down a few units. So I wouldn't mind her having some reinforcements. There we go. Okay, we've got the crow now. Where do we want to put it is the question. Yeah, Nomlik, I'm good to just leave him where he is, really. Let's see if there's any alliance. We released this one as a vassal. Join offers galore, which we're ignoring. Alright, so then let's just skip our production and finish up some movement here. So, we can head on down to this city. Let's find out if it's a little better guarded. It is not. So this is another battle that I'm happy to do in auto combat here. Ooh, we lost this whole stack, really. But, I mean, we got it done. That was a little scary. Maybe shouldn't have done that one in auto combat. Oh well. We got it done, though. That's the important part. We're going to absorb it. And you know what? We can group up with Julia with Bormax groups, so I'm not too worried. This little guy can even form a unit in Bormax group, because he's only got 5 units now, so we'll just tell him to chill. And Bormax on his way. He'll group up. As I said with Nomlik, we'll just stay put. No reason to do anything crazy. Reskar's group, I think we might as well just thin this out. You know what, let's just come on down just to help. And then we can do this, and we'll just do auto combat. Perfect, we didn't lose anybody. And then we can just keep playing defense. I don't think we need to push things too crazy. Alright, and then our reinforcements here moving in. Now, our reinforcements, I'm thinking maybe we want to start forming a bit of a fighting force here to maybe go after some of these cities down in the corner. Especially with Edward on his way over. Yeah, and, ooh, and you know what? Edward can clear this out while he's here. Sure, why not? Let's just do this in auto combat. Nice and clean. And then, Big Beetle moving in. So yeah, we'll be able to have a pretty effective army pushing over into these other cities once we have Edward over there. Alright. Let's get another Grimbeak Crow. Staying closely matched, so maybe we want one more before we really commit to that. Let's see what we can see with our expensive as heck scout. Yeah, this unit might get killed, but could also just try and steal that city while it's not defended. Big Beetle. Yeah, we'll just keep shuttling them all towards the front lines, which is great. Reskar's staying put. This group's going to stay put. This crow making its way over to eventually maybe join that army. Yeah, the old knight I'm going to leave where he is. I think that's going to be it. Yeah, now it's just production. Again, a lot of cities we're just going to do merchandise. Grotzlin, we're going to just keep cranking out beetles because why not? Ooh, nice. Our throne city. Let's go for that Grand Palace. That's awesome. Camrod Rack. Merchandise as well. Retold, this is our little city on the island. Let's get that planar gate going. And we'll end the turn there. Perfect. My father has been captured. His armies are leaderless, forced to hold position as long as we have their king. Victory. My father and Leonis sit in their cells. Now begins the long process of getting them to see and admit their mistakes. Many have lost their lives this day, but a bright future dawns for all people. We will root out all Shadowborn and learn to live in harmony. Fantastic. Well, there you have it. So it looks like we've completed the Elven Court campaign, which is excellent. Boy, I had a lot of fun doing this. And, you know, like I said, I've been playing Age of Wonders 3, well, since it launched, really, which is, you know, now over a decade ago, which is hard to believe. And I had never actually played through this whole campaign. I had never finished it. I really jumped into the just kind of random maps and scenarios pretty quick once I picked the game up back in the day. And so it's really kind of fun to go back and experience the campaign itself. And yeah, I couldn't be happier with how this one went. I'd love to hear in the comments what you guys think. Did you know, have you enjoyed the campaign? Would you like to see me maybe go back to scenarios or random maps for a while? Or do you want to see the next campaign? You know, I can definitely jump in. I think Edward and the Commonwealth is the next one. And then we have the DLC campaign from the Necromancer expansion, which allows, I think you play as a Frostling Necromancer, if I remember right. And then there's also some additional campaigns added by some of the mod packs I have installed. So, again, tons of options for us here. We could keep going with campaigns. We could, you know, jump back, take a break, do a random map or two, or, you know, some other combination. Just let me know what you guys think in the comments. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you in the next one.
The battle is over. Armies
Oh, I guess we're not done. Let's get the epilogue here.
Trick worked. I thought my father would leap out of his chains to destroy Leonis on sight. I forced them to sit in opposing cells, staring at each other before showing them my evidence. After their rage subsided, they willingly studied the Shadowborn. My mother's been the most effective in softening father's heart. The dreadnought, Edward, whose father was a friend to the Emperor, convinced Leonis to renounce his godhood after showing him that Vorodicius was Shadowborn. Nomlik sits in the quiet cell beside the Emperor, hearing him confess troubling things. Dark rituals involving a malevolent will that convinced him he was a god. I believe in time father will make peace with the loss of his son, knowing the Shadowborn plotted it. I overheard Leonis comforting father over the tragedy. They were both fooled. I don't expect their mutually inflicted wounds to heal overnight, but I hope someday the scars will fade. The Torchbearers hunt Shadowborn operatives across both empires. My new friend Edward leads the torchbearers across the Commonwealth, while I lead the search through the Elven court. The Shadowborn flee to their most secret places. Somewhere out there, Werlak plots against us. Due to the millions of displaced refugees spreading across the world, many have disappeared. Edward and I compared what we know of the Shadowborn. There is something trapped behind the last Shadowgate, something that wants into this world. The Shaddai war shrines all hold an artifact that once belonged to an exiled wizard. It is common law that the spirits of the dead will sometimes attach themselves to objects of importance that were theirs during life. What if the power that seeks this world once ruled it? Merlin fears the same thing. He and my mother met with Father. I thought Father would be angry learning Merlin's identity, but he remembered Merlin from before the Mending. He remembers how the old wizard helped him. Merlin explained, "True love is not selfish. I will always love Julia, but I'm grateful you granted her her fondest dream." Then he took me by the shoulder and drew me closer, saying, "Sundren is a fine daughter. Cherish her. She is the hope for the next age of wonders." It is quiet tonight. My spies have little to report. I have not seen Merlin in many moons now. My mother and father are united, no longer plotting against each other. They even share the same bedchambers. Their eyes linger longingly when the other leaves the room. The girl in me wants to mock them for being so sentimental. Still, I remember how it was, and I am grateful to see their love rekindled. Some wounds are still there. The palace feels so empty without Thanis, but we will persevere. We will all be stronger because we remember. If we cannot keep this inner peace, we ignore our real enemy. Something deeply evil awaits us all, ready to consume our souls just beyond the door of shadows. The world has changed. Finally, the humans and elves seem to understand one another. Each has a place in this world. We are learning to share it. And for the first time, I find myself giddy with the prospects of what might be my future. A future I get to choose for myself.
Well, there you have it. Quite a nice campaign, and this is the point where we will actually end the episode. I was a little premature before. As always, guys, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.